All right, good gloomy morning, guys. So today we got a couple toilets to do. Let's go in the back of the truck and see if we got the parts for them before we go and pick up those toilets, and then we'll head on over and get them done. Let's see here. We got ourselves a few wax rings, different styles, and we should be good there. We have the Johnny bolts. We have one set of Johnny bolts, and we got some long ones, but I don't think I have any, so I'll need to get another set of Johnny bolts. The others are kind of repair ones, so we'll pick some of those up when we get the toilets. Got off to an interesting start. The supply house sent out the wrong tank. They sent it out with another toilet, so they gave us 2 bowls, 2 seats, and a tank. We're gonna go get started while they run up to their warehouse, pick up the right tank, and then hopefully they'll get it delivered to us by the time I'm trying to wrap up that second toilet. So we will see how this all plays out. Hopefully it plays out all right. That is pull this toilet. Take the lid off. Shut it off. Oh, it's already almost completely drained out. Let's suck the water out. Go. Oh, these bolts look pretty good. We might be able to save them. Let us pull it. Oh, we're grouted to the floor. Oh, jeez. That's nice. That was on there. Wow. Somebody didn't want this toilet going anywhere.
What is that?
I don't know, it looks like silicone something similar, but it's not exactly set right either. Come here. So we're going to have to shift this flange because the bolts are not lined up proper. Be able to get them lined up so that they're straight across. We're pretty close to the edge of this flange here. It looks like the flange head pulled away from this. If you look, it looks like this flange was not properly installed to begin with, which is why it's raised up. So pull these out. Go more like that. That would be better. All right. New wax on, just like so. Now we'll grab the bowl, open that up, slide it out, grab our bag of goodies. Put it down. Firm, this is a 12-inch rough tank. I'll open it up on camera for you guys. Got your tank lid. Some other parts and pieces. And you get your tank, more bag of goodies, and open up your baggie. Tank the bowl gasket. Stick that on there like so. Make sure your tank bowls are coming out. Next bag of goodies. Okay. Set it in place like so. Make sure that you're good and square with the bowl. Sometimes the tanks themselves are not exactly square. Put your flat washer on and then your nut. Spin it up and on. Flat washer, nut, spin it on. And you confirm that you're square. Grab the little wrench that they give you. And then I usually push down on either side to compress that gasket. You want to go back and forth so that you don't over torque it, and then they have little ceramic stops on the bowl so you know when you went far enough. Give it just a little bit more torque. Rock that tank so that you know it's not going to rock or move anywhere if somebody leans against it when they're sitting on it. And then it's time to put the seat on. Take our seat. Open that up. Another bag of goodies. Slow close seat, so you want to make sure you pull it down, open your caps. Oh, and everything goes flying. Alright, so you have these little rubber feet that go on the bottoms here. Just like so. Hold those in place. Then you have a couple different washers One has a center hole and one has an offset hole to determine how far forward or back you put the seat. We want the seat back so that it's flush in the front. So we're going to end up using the offset washers with the hole facing forward rather than back. And take our seat bolts, stick them down through, put them up and on, hold back, make sure that you're flush where you want to be, all lined up, and tighten them down. Put your caps back, and now the toilet is assembled. Line up your Johnny bolts. That's one side, that's the other side, and then rock it into place until it sits down. Line up your Johnny bolts, grab your bag of goodies that have your caps on them. This one comes with two different styles and a pair of Johnny bolts, but these are usually steel. They're no good. You want to use the brass ones. And these are, so if you don't cut off the Johnny bolts or they're too high, you can use a deeper cap, but we will use the shallow cap. So you get your cap washer. These are directional. It will say this side up. I don't know if you'll be able to see that there. This side up. You want to make sure that you put that side up, both sides. Then you take your metal washer and your nut, spin that on there. Of course, this Johnny bolt doesn't want to stay upright. There we go. Just had to put some sideways pressure on it to catch those threads. And then you want to just carefully go from one side to the other, tighten it down just a little bit, tighten it down just a little bit. You don't want to go too far because you will crack the toilet. Push on the end of the bowl to make sure that it's not going to shift if somebody hits it just a little bit. And then you should be good to put your caps on. Take your supply, reconnect your supply, take a towel, make sure it's all dry so that you can check for leaks and fill it up. Now they had said that this packing here leaks, which it does. I don't have an adjustable with me, so the pliers will have to do. That's just going to be a matter of, I'll show you. Okay, so to tighten the packing nut, it's this outside bonnet on these supply stops. So you just want to get in there and give it a bit of a turn, just like so. Take your towel, wipe it off, turn the valve, make sure it still operates, open it up, and then watch for leaks. One good way to be able to tell if there's a leak is to take your finger, wipe it underneath, and then look. If your finger isn't wet or shiny, there are no leaks. Okay, so with the packing tightened, let us now check the adjustment. So as you can see, the water is filled up to the top of the overflow. We want it 5/8 of an inch below the overflow. So let's test the flush and readjust that. Let's see how it flushes. Flush seems good. Let's adjust this down. We're going to adjust this float down, so you turn it counterclockwise. That will lower that float. And then when it comes up, as long as the water is 5/8 of an inch below, which it looks to be now, you're in good shape. Flush it again and check for leaks around the base. No leaks around the base. No leaks around the base. Alright, to finish this toilet off, let us break out the toilet lid, or the tank lid. Wipe down all the residue on it. Put that in place. That toilet is good to go.
What do you think those are since the house was built, 95?
Usually they have a date on here. Probably so though. This one definitely. I don't see a date on it, but
Would it be on the cover?
well, usually they're either on the lid or on the stamped on the back here. This one says November. Yeah, November 21st, 1995. So this is original to the house. Alright. Supply stop is off. We are drained. Disconnect the supply. Let's break this free. Hopefully this one will come out a little bit easier. God, I hate when I know.
Slow shutting lids.
They are, yeah. Slow closing.
Yeah.
So no more banging.
All mine are that way. When you go to someone's house and you're like, well, bam! You're like,
Whoa, what was that?
alright, so you haven't gotten to the technology.
Yeah, right.
Alright. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Well,
It was good meeting you. It's like partially siliconed and partially grouted. Come on. Get in there. Taking up tile with it though. I know they say you're supposed to silicone these, but let me ask you, when you go to pull this, first off, do you want your tile popping up? And second off, if the wax seal fails, would you rather have it spill out onto the floor or pour down through the ceiling? There we go. Jeez. Whew. Still haven't broken free on the other side here though. There we go. Wow. That was That was terrible. Let's set this down on this towel over here. Wow. Alright, now let's clean up the flange. This flange looks reasonable. So, as far as its position goes, it looks reasonable. So we will set that like that. Okay, so we're still waiting on that tank from the supply house. They said it'll be here in about half an hour. But in the meantime, we can pull the new bowl out and get the seat in place and make sure that we're going to have clearance here for it. Pull this bowl out. Hey, look at that. I think it's been sitting around for a little while. Quite a bit of dust on there. Okay, where's our bag of goodies? There it is. So to double check that we're going to be good, because this is a 10-inch rough, line it up, and it looks like it should clear. It's just going to be the tank that needs to be a 10-inch rough tank, and we do not have that right now. So let's open up our bag of goodies here. We'll find the shallow caps, the deep ones, and these steel Johnny bolts we do not need. They can go in the garbage. Now we'll put the seat on. Again, we'll open up the seat. Grab the other bag of goodies. So in this baggie, you got your rubber feet, you got your 2 sets of washers, and you have your seat bolts. And in this one, I'll put them on the box, might be easier to see. You have pretty much the same thing. You got your 2 feet. Instead, you have these stainless bolts. So these ones are for if you can't get to the underside of the through holes for the seat. These ones will sit down, and then the nut is built in here, and it will just squish this out, and it will end up grabbing a hold of it and setting that seat in place. So these are for blind seat holes, whereas these are for seat holes which you can get to the underside of. Bring the hinge down, open up our bolt covers. I'm going to use the offset washer with it facing forward again. I'm assuming that's what it's going to end up being. Put our little feet in just like so. Put them down. Make sure everything is pretty well even and flush. Stick your bolt in, your other bolt, grab your nut, spin it up and on. Same thing on the other side. Grab your screwdriver, give them a good tighten. You don't got to go over tight with them, but you want to make sure that they're snug on there so they don't back off. Put your bolt caps back on, give it a little shake, and we're in good shape. While we're waiting, I'm also going to just go ahead and change the supply. This one looks a little bit crummy, so let's make it look pretty. All right, the tank has arrived. Let's get our utility knife, zip it open, pull out our tank. Got a red tank to bowl gasket for this one. That's fancy. Hopefully this was a 10-inch roof. I didn't even look. And look at this one. These nuts have the washers built right onto them. How about that? Alright. So let's hold these down. Go over to the other side. Alright, we'll straighten everything out. Make sure that we're all good and even. Push down on the one side, tighten up our nut. Push down on the other side, tighten up the nut until it bottoms out on the little china feet here. And you know you're good and snug, just like that. One thing I'll show you is, if you look at the bolts, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but you can actually see where the bolt heads will pull into the washer there, and you know then you're getting a good seal on those. Okay, let us get our Johnny bolts in the right spot and get our towel out of the way too. Alright, now for the moment of truth. Get the Johnny bolt in the hole. The other one's in the hole. Footprint is a little bit different on this one compared to the old one. But again, these washers are directional, so you want to make sure you put them on there right. Put your metal washers on, and then you can put your nuts on. Grab a 9/16 open end wrench, tighten down, going from one side to the other. Make sure that you're good. Put your caps on, put your supply on, wipe your supply down, and fill it up. Again, anytime you reopen one of these stops after closing it, double check that packing nut. We'll make sure that it fills up to the proper level, which it looks like it's going to go up too high again. And this time it's actually overflowing, so let's turn that down a little bit. Let's check our flush. Flush seems alright. Level in the tank seems alright. We'll give it another flush. Everything looks nice and dry. Our supply is dry. Let us put the lid on the tank. Give it one more. Alright, I think we should be good to go. This toilet is done.